What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the data points, break it down on what is really moving it, and go over everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid is down 2.27%, bouncing off of its all-time low of 1109. So absolutely crazy times. Today, there wasn't really any news associated to Lucid, so no press releases, no SEC filings. We did have a couple of data points that came out first thing. So pending home sales month over month and year over year came in better than the forecast. So that's kind of a positive, signals that there's an increase in demand. Although Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index came in at negative 10.9, forecast was negative 2.5. So there was more contractions than what we anticipated. So that's not great, but normally the market would actually take that as a positive, only because it would further kind of justify a rate cut. But there's a lot of other crap that's happening in the broader market. Nothing really specific to Lucid though, so it's all kind of larger scope stuff. But we are seeing oil move up about 2.39% right now, and that is linked to Iran. So Iran president says US, Israel, Europe waging full-fledged war on country. So this might be just meaningless banter and kind of chatter, and most likely won't really amount to anything. But still, there's a certain level of uncertainty. And so in general, the market doesn't like uncertainty right now. So that's causing obviously some institutions to possibly kind of scale out. At the same time, we are seeing silver down 9.46% and gold down 4.45. In case you haven't really paid attention to silver though, even though it's consolidating down 10%, it's gone on a absolutely epic run. So just over the last 5 days, it did have a high of around $83, $83.44. So in general, surprisingly enough, silver is the reason why we're actually going down today. And that is largely because a lot of big banks decided that it was a smart idea to short silver. And so just on December the 26th alone, there was almost around $18 billion that needed to be borrowed to avoid a margin call. So silver running up as much as it has put a lot of strain on the financial market, supposedly because big banks decided to short it, and it wasn't in their best interest. So it's absolutely crazy stuff that we do live in. So it was exactly $17.25 billion, and that was on December the 26th. So all in all, kind of funny times. So in reality, is today's sell-off justified? Not really. Whether one or two kind of smaller banks goes insolvent because of this, yeah, it would probably cause some strain, but no different than what happened in 23, 24. Like, the market just keeps on moving higher. So all in all, if you do believe in Lucid or any other stock out there, take advantage, buy the dip, and do what needs to be done. So let me know your viewpoint on that in the comments below. Aside from that, shorts are increasing about 24,000 shares. 35.54% of the free float is being shorted. So we are now again at all-time high short interest numbers. So crazy stuff. 46.31 million shares overall being shorted. DTC sitting at 5.42 days. As I've mentioned, the reason why it's going up isn't really because shorts are doubling and tripling down. Rather, Lucid is kind of experiencing lower and lower volume. But still, 5.42 days does really signal that shorts are very overextended. Looking at the options, 783,000 in calls, 495,000 in puts. So extremely low volume for that. And 64% of all the options being done are bearish in nature. From a bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that 12 to 1250. So a good amount of recovery is anticipated. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub 10. So yeah, crazy stuff. And institutions aren't really buying the dip, unfortunately. So about 4 transactions, all are sells. So big money's not buying it, even though Lucid's at all-time lows. And this is something, again, extremely frustrating. I know I do a Lucid video every single day for the most part, and I love their product and just absolutely hate management. Like, their management has definitely guided Lucid into, like, instead of sailing straight, they went straight for the rocks. They just veered right and whatever. Like, Lucid management has definitely dropped the ball. Hopefully, again, best case scenario, Lucid actually hits their 18,000 target, but I still feel now the market's going to be expecting more from Lucid. They need to really signal that 2026 they have sufficient demand to raise targets to roughly around 40, at least at the very bare minimum. So yeah, hopefully everything goes right for Lucid, but as I've signaled, I think I am completely done for buying more Lucid. Even if it goes down to 8, 7, I think that I'd rather even pay higher prices to see once Lucid actually gets their crap together. So Lucid actually having sufficient amount of demand, mid-size out, even if it is at $15, $16 or even higher, I would be more than happy to pay those prices than kind of this. Because if you're buying right now, anyone saying that it's like a guaranteed home run definitely is wrong. It's very speculative right now and very dependent on Lucid really hitting their operational targets and continuously hitting those targets. So we'll have to wait and see how things play out. Aside from that, these are some of the transactions occurring on the dark pool. So it kind of shows that institutions aren't really doing too much in hedge funds. These numbers right here, so the even numbers, 10,000, that's hedge funds kind of rebalancing, but very small dollar values in reality. So aside from that, with it right now at 11.15, it is trading between this S1 and this S2. So 10.99 and 11.29 is going to be the next strong support and target. If Lucid does see some recovery today, 11.78 is going to be the following target. So logically, like I said, I think that this sell-off that's happening across the board today is largely unjustified, but I think those companies that are actually like putting out good operational updates, they're moving higher. Any stock that's kind of gray, the market's just not buying it, right? So that's the biggest difference. If we did have institutions actually buying Lucid, then it would be doing a lot better, most likely kind of oriented towards at least this 11.29 or possibly 11.78, but institutions aren't really doing too much with it. So let me know your viewpoint on that. Aside from all of that fun stuff on the actual chart, it's not looking great whatsoever. So below a lot of the key pivotal moving averages, and yeah, hitting all-time low for the actual stock price, and then all-time highs for the short interest. Definitely not great. Market position shows that there's not really that much willing buyers. Stochastic RSI at 64, so it's neutral, not really overbought nor oversold. So let me know your general thoughts on Lucid. Are you buying? Are you selling? What's your kind of viewpoint on Lucid? And then aside from all of that, one final thing, if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, pop over to my Patreon and put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades, worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.